Good evening, guys. It's Wednesday. It's about 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and I'm at work still. Today was a 12-hour day for me. Um, Today's talk is going to be probably one of the most important talks that I've ever had with you guys. Today's talk is going to be very serious and can easily be misconstrued um, if religion is put in the mix here. And today, what I want to do is I want to leave religion completely out of today's talk. When I find that I'm not motivated in life, I can't get anything done. When I find that my day doesn't start right, I can't get anything done. When I find that I let diet, the strenuous stresses of life constantly take over, I cannot get anything done. When I find that I'm worried more about debt and stress and my kids and this and that, and I can't get anything done. Being motivated to change your life, even in the worst or the toughest times, is critical. The worst times in your life are the times that are going to pave the path for you forward. I used to get down whenever tragedy would hit me and stuff like that. I used to fall apart. 6 months ago, I was living out of my truck. I didn't have food to eat. I was barely making it. I was coming on YouTube and Facebook, and I was asking people for just the smallest bit of help. But I was motivated. I didn't let anything get in the way of me trying to get where I was at. I took a job where I was making over $30 an hour in the union, but still, it wasn't enough for me to get on my feet fast enough. But my motivation and my self-drive to make myself a better person and to achieve more than what I was driving me. No matter what kind of stress got in my way, no matter if I was eating a loaf of bread or I was having a steak dinner that night, it was time to push. It was time to eat. And the only way that you're going to do that is if you push everything aside sometimes and see that you're number one. Your husband sometimes can't be number one. Your children sometimes can't be number one. When you put everybody else ahead of you all the time and you don't worry about yourself, you can't even give them anything good from you. There's so many bits and pieces missing of you. You think you're putting them first when you're really not. Working on you and yourself before anybody else sometimes is the best thing that you can do because you give back so much more when you're a complete person. I found that living on the streets, not having anything, not being able to even pay my bills, worrying about my car getting taken, worrying about, am I going to make it the next week with food? Am I going to be able to survive the next, 3 days before a check would bounce? Or can I get money in the bank? Whatever it would be, I would constantly push and push and push to make myself better, and I would not let that stop me from getting ahead. And now I've noticed over the last 6 months that because of everything that I've been through, I've really matured into this person that I don't really care what gets in my way. Nothing's going to stop me from achieving what I want to achieve. If I have to work 12-hour days to get it done, that's what I'm going to do. But I know now that it's important for me to take care of me. When I've worked too much and I know that I can't handle anymore, and I know that life's starting to slip away, I've built that up inside me now to look at my boss and say, enough. No more 12-hour days for the rest of the week. I've looked at my girlfriend and said, look, today's me day. I'm not going to focus on anybody else but me. Today is just me. I need that time to myself. I need that time to reset and get me back to balance. When I let so many other things affect me in my life, there's no diet, there's no religion, there's no person, there's no nobody that's going to be able to get me right other than me, myself, and I. Once I learned that I need to start worrying more about me than anybody else, it sounds selfish. I was able to give back way more than what I had before. So now, the days where I start feeling down and stuff like that, the days where I start feeling stressed out, I look at where I came from. I look at coming from, as a child being abused and tattered and locked in rooms days on end, not having food, being forced to eat food, not having, a house to be able to roam about as a child and being locked in rooms and stuff like that, and then going through foster care, 9 different foster families, looking at everything that I went through, being homeless at 13 years old, living on the streets, to what I'm doing now. A master tech at a dealership, making the best money that I've ever made in my life, because I don't let the circumstances in life dictate where I go. I've been through college now. I have over 440 certifications. People in life that let the circumstances that engulf them dictate where they go are the people that they need guidance. They need people to step out and say, hey, you don't have to be a statistic. You don't have to be another number on a scale. You don't have to be somebody's second. You can put yourself first. You can make sure you're taken care of by just taking simple steps of self-care, worrying about you, your brain, your mind, what goes in your mouth, activity, not letting people get you down. If you're in a relationship with somebody that's constantly bringing you down all the time and you can't progress it and move forward, it's time to move out of that relationship. There is no excuse to stay in it. Children are not an excuse to stay in a relationship with somebody that disrespects you and constantly brings you down and doesn't let you be number one. Children are not a reason to be stuck in a hell type environment because you're with somebody and you feel like you need to stay with that person because a statistical view or a view that your parents upheld growing up and they were miserable together. Move on about your life. You can still be a parent, not with somebody that's tearing you up all the time. Being in a relationship with somebody that's constantly tearing you apart and not letting you progress, not complimenting you. And I don't mean complimenting you by saying things to you. I mean complimenting you in your life by making you a better person. If you don't compliment each other and you don't build each other up so they can progress and understand sometimes me is more important than us in order for us to be better than what we are, then why are you in a relationship with that person? When Angie wants to go out with her girlfriends or get her own time and stuff like that and be away from me, I'm okay with that. I actually want her to go do that because it makes her a better person. She gets to breathe, she gets to reset, she gets away from the monotony of seeing me every single day and the nuances of my personality and stuff like that. And it brings her back to center so she could deal with somebody like me. Her putting her first actually allows us to thrive in a relationship together. Me putting me first actually allows me to deal with the little quirkiness that may aggravate me and become a big problem in the future or snowball. Me putting me first allows me to be better at my job. Me knowing that I have to be at school, I have to constantly grow and make myself better, allows me to be a better person in general. If you're stuck in one of those relationships or a situation where you know, even your job, a lot of people, they live their whole life and they work a job that they cannot stand. Why? I've walked away from jobs where I was making $40 an hour because I could not stand working there. I was not a complete person. I was not somebody that was of sound mind and could function and move forward. You know, when I went into the Army, the one thing that they teach you is you have to be almost nothing. You have to feel like you're almost nothing before you can actually become something. You have to feel like you're almost nothing before you can become something. When you feel like you're nothing, it brings you your whole sense of who you are and what you want to be, and the drive to move forward completely changes. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to feel like I'm the person on the bottom all the time and I cannot move forward. So what do? You learn, you reconstruct, you figure out who you are, you progress in life. That's the same way with these bad relationships and stuff that we get into. That's the same way with the situations that we get in life. They are supposed to teach us to move forward, reconstruct us, grow us, and help mold us into the person that we need to be. And sometimes being a little selfish is what we have to do. Learning who you are and what you want to do with yourself and moving forward. There's no diet, there's no keto diet, there's no paleo diet, there's no vegan diet, there's nothing that's ever going to change that. If you're not happy with yourself, you cannot be happy with somebody else. If you're not happy with yourself, there's no diet that's going to help you get healthy so you can be happy. You have to be happy with yourself before any of these other things can work. The number one factor in any success in life in general is you. And if that falls apart, everything else falls apart. If your mind falls apart, everything else falls apart. There's nothing that you can achieve if you are not the center of what needs to be appreciated in your life. Once that falls apart and it's no longer there, you cannot progress forward. You will not be able to achieve what you want to achieve until you start appreciating who you are and becoming somewhat selfish at times. That's my message today is self-care, learn who you are, don't fall apart under stress, let it teach you, let it guide you, move forward. Don't stay in these terrible, trashy relationships if they're not getting better. Marriage, a ring, paperwork, kids, that doesn't dictate I need to stay miserable and unhappy. Even if you have some kind of court documentation where you have to live in the same state with somebody, you can learn to be happy away from a toxic situation. Make you first, make you the center of what you are, so you can give back to those around you even more. If you think you're doing that now and you're miserable, you're wrong. Back up some, reset, make you the priority, make you better, and then you can give back so much more to everybody else around you. If your mind's not right, you cannot succeed in anything else that you have going on in life. It just will not work properly. Thanks, guys. Be blessed. Have a great evening. Take care.